Do you have sensitive information? Most likely, yes. Are you processing payment or collecting card information? Most likely, yes. Do you have customers? Are those customers people? Yes. Most likely, hackers are interested in you. So, regardless of the size of your organization, how big your application is, how small your business is, how popular your product is, you are of interest to hackers or attackers. Incident response, business continuity, and digital forensics. What's the correlation between the three of them? An incident is when something that is not expected or something that should not happen happens. For example, there was an attempt to hack your system and your SOC analysts were able to pick that up, or there was an attempt and it was obvious. Even if the hacking was not successful and they did not steal any data, that's an incident and you need to treat it as if data may have been stolen or data may have leaked in a way. Let's say there is denial of service, your website goes down for even 5 seconds. That's also an incident because it's something that should not happen and it breaches one of the main goals of security. What are the three main goals of security again? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So if your website goes down for 5 seconds, that breaches what? Availability. So that's also an incident. Whether it was caused by a hacker or by power failure or anything, it's also an incident. So something that potentially breaches or has the capability to breach any of the CIA is also an incident. An event is not necessarily something bad. An event is something changed or something happened. Do you get something occurred? That is an event. An alert is not necessarily for something bad. Yeah? So understand the differences. An alert is based on a condition. If this happens, alert me. Or if this happens, let me know. Or if this does not happen after a certain period of time, let me know. Like your antivirus. If there's a virus on your system after you download the file, it alerts you, right? That was an event. And then because something changed, you downloaded something and then it alerted you about potential threats in that file or within that application. But an event could also be something related to a file was changed. It may not be an incident, but something changed. But you want to know when something in that file changes or when anything happens to that file. Then you get alerted, right? So that is an alert. You know an alert now, you know an event, you know an incident, right? They are not the same. Incident is definitely something that is not right, something that is not good, something that is not expected. But then a disaster is when something bad actually happens and it causes damage. Yeah? So you hear things like disaster recovery. That is you recovering from a disaster, restoring back to normal operation after an incident that's caused damage occurs. And you hear things like DRP, which is a disaster recovery plan. And that is a plan that prepares you for disaster. How do you recover after a disaster? If you don't plan properly, then the impact would be way more than if you planned. Having a plan does not stop an incident from happening. It does not stop a disaster from happening. But would it reduce the time it takes you to recover? Yes. Would it reduce the potential impact? Of course. Right? Would it save you money, time, resources? Most likely, yes. Right? So having a plan is very good. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Yeah, you need a disaster recovery plan to prepare for disasters. Not because you are expecting the disaster, but if it does happen, what do we do? You don't want to start planning after an incident or after a disaster. You want to plan before the disaster. And never say my business or my organization can never be hacked or my organization can never be a victim. Because even the most secure organizations have been victims. And we've seen a lot of that between 2020 and this year. NHS MITRE attack framework, the organization that actually built the framework for you to secure your organization or to investigate incidents. They also got hacked, right? CrowdStrike. Microsoft devices were also faced with outages this year. So if all these big organizations, all the security organizations are victims, who do you think you are? What do you think you have that you think you don't need a plan for? And the other side of things is some people think their business is small or their organization is too small to be targets of hackers or hacktivists. That is another mistake you're potentially making. Hackers are no respecter of big or small. Do you have sensitive information? Most likely, yes. Are you processing payment or collecting card information? Most likely, yes. They're interested in you. Do you have customers? Are those customers people? Yes. Most likely hackers are interested in you. Do you see where I'm going with this? So regardless of the size of your organization, how big your application is, how small your business is, how popular your product is, you are of interest to hackers or attackers.